Welcome to the 79th episode of the You Had Me at Halo podcast.
Welcome. So today we have NuclearBlaze back with us, and
Yes, sir.
Our usual selves, me, Nick, Iron Wolf, and SoulBlazerz here.
Yo, what's up? Also, the tweet did work. Woohoo, we're getting there. Nice.
Hey.
That means I can tweet whenever the heck I want. Hell yeah.
Nice.
Nick, thanks for the introduction. Before we get into the topics of the day, of which we have it clearly laid out, so we should go through it pretty quick. How's everyone been doing? I know the last couple of weeks have been interesting as an Xbox fan. Nick, what are you up to? You been playing a lot of Halo the last few days?
No, I've been playing Starfield. Definitely. Ever since Starfield came out, I've just been like grinding through that. And I knew like this month and like even last month with Baldur's Gate, like I probably wouldn't get a lot of Halo in, just because I want to try to get through those games before they sit on the shelf too long. No,
it makes a lot of sense. You were playing Baldur's Gate. Did you finish it or did you just move over for now while you wait?
No, I got close, I think, and I'm gonna be taking a few days off of work next week, so I might take a break from Starfield to hop over and maybe try to finish up that a bit more. But I couldn't finish it.
Not enough time, right?
Close,
these massive games, and it's like there's
exactly.
just no time in the world.
Yep.
Ari, what about you, man? Or Nuke?
I've just been grinding Halo, even with the other stuff coming out. Like 343 still been adding stuff for the social community, and like they added SWAT recently. So a lot of my friends were
rank SWAT, right?
Yeah, rank SWAT. Sorry. So a lot of my friends are SWAT friends, and so they've just been grinding that playlist like.
So he says SWAT friends, but the actual term is SWAT kids.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that playlist is insane.
Did they fix the CSR?
No, I heard they ruined it. I heard they ruined the SWAT ranked CSR thing, so you can't even get games anymore or something like that.
Oh my god!
From what I heard, yeah.
Right.
SWAT's my favorite playlist. Usually.
It's really addicting, to be honest.
It's probably why COD is as addicting as it is, right?
Yeah, fast TTK.
Yeah. Personally, I haven't been gaming too much. Finally started Starfield. Dude, the last 4 days were torture in terms of everyone talking about this game and this and all the review score discussion. And I'm sitting in friggin' Texas. I really want to play this game. But we'll talk about that.
I hate the review score discussion.
Seriously.
We were having a good discussion on, or like not. We were having a good discussion in general about, or in our Starfield chat and stuff about some of the stuff in the game. People were like, being like, "Oh, I really like this. Have you been here?" That kind of thing. And then someone like posted the review score, and I just kind of got sidetracked, and then it just kind of kept on going back to it. And it's like, really, it's like we were doing good, and it was for like an IGN score. It wasn't IGN, but it was Eurogamer.
Yeah, Eurogamer.
It's like, they're gonna be salty from their reviews.
Literally, they had that whole fiasco of them not getting the codes and lying about it.
Oh, they lied about it?
They lied about like Digital Foundry having codes, but not expressly this. Digital Foundry came out and they're like, no, we deal with US PR directly. We don't deal with Eurogamer at all. Like, I don't know what the heck they were saying. But anyways, that is a very different topic with a very different podcast. Let's jump in. Okay, before we get into the bulk of the show, also why NuclearBlaze is here, because he's aspiring competitive player. Let's talk about the latest updates to Halo Infinite over the last couple weeks, because 343 seems to just not stop. You know what I mean? Over the last, I think, literally last Tuesday, Husky Raid was finally added to the game, which is something that we've been talking about for a little while, I think. And yes. I was leaving to Texas on Wednesday, so I literally only had the 1 day, and the coding was pretty cool for the weekly challenge, so I played a lot of it, and I really liked it. I played it for like, I think, 4 hours straight, just Husky Raid. You played the mode, I'm guessing, in other Halos, Nick?
Yeah, and I think I even helped run some contests and stuff that got Husky Raid in Halo 5.
Oh, did you play Husky Raid in Halo 5?
Yes.
I think I played it the most in Halo 5. It was really fun.
Yeah, I think, especially considering Halo 5's wide sandbox for that mode and stuff, it just made that so much more fun.
You know that map, the control room map for Husky Raid?
Yes.
Bro, that one was so good.
Yep. I know the person who made that one. I forget their name now though.
Bro, it had like Easter eggs and stuff in it. Like like a Master Chief riding a pig going around like the whole map and stuff. It was really funny. Yeah, it was really funny. It's a good map. Oh, man.
Yeah, so they have the new maps and stuff made by Forgers. And so they have those.
Yeah, and a lot of maps, right? I think it was like 8 or something number of maps were added into the game.
Yep. And I think might have added another like 1 or 2 late editions that were unfortunately plagued by some of the previous updates bugs.
Interesting. I know I just got a tweet earlier this Tuesday saying Corpo was added back, but I kind of assumed it was already in and then they removed it.
That might have been the place too. I know Apostle, I think it's the map.
Yeah.
That one. Oh wait, no, never mind. That's a doubles map.
That's a twos map. Yeah.
That was removed and stuff for a while, and that got added back because or a late addition or something because of some bugs. But from Forge that like caused objects to be different than what they were supposed to be or something. I don't know. I forget. Exactly.
Once again, it's the forging community that's kind of keeping the season really going. You know what I mean? Because especially some of these maps look incredible. Like there's the one with the city landscape on the outside the window, and the map loads in, and me and my friends we both stop, and we don't even play for the first 20 seconds. We're just looking outside, like what the heck is this?
So what people create is like pretty amazing.
Yeah,
and stuff for sure.
It's next level. It's
the Japanese one. That one looks like the
Japanese one looked really cool.
I didn't realize you could walk along the roofs. Like
Reeb. So when we played it, I didn't like it because I felt like there was no way to like spawn or anything. But I played it again, and I'm like, oh, there's actually a lot of room on the sides and above.
Yeah, I was surprised. And that Valhalla one is probably the best one.
I love Small Hala. Oh my!
It's so well made.
It even came.
Yeah, that was really well made.
That is probably one of the more widely known ones. I think.
I'm guessing it was in the previous games too, right? This is like a Halo Infinite version of it.
No, Small Hala is something that they made this time around. At least from what I know, I don't remember. It might have been in the older ones. I'm not too sure, but I know it made pretty big waves this time around. The people at the studio really enjoyed it, and were tweeting and stuff about it. So
it's such a well-made map. Oh my god. Admittedly, though, one thing I'll say is I feel like everyone needs to collectively agree to GA the Cinder Shot in the maps with the maps with the stairs, because it just like dominates. I think I got an overkill with it, an extermination with it earlier. I was like, what the heck is this?
I can see that.
But okay, all right. Anything else news-wise unrelated to HCS that came out in the last couple of weeks?
Do you want to talk about the rank changes or?
Yeah, let's talk about that right now. So for those who don't know, they announced it a few weeks ago, but now it's finally in practice. To combat people, or how do I say this? To help people that were complaining that ranked would only have like 4 stacks, they've now added a cap on your CSR in which you can queue with more than one person. So I think right now, they initially announced at 1,500, but they actually launched it with 1,600. So if you're 1,600 Onyx or higher, you can't queue with more than one person when playing ranked. Is the primary change.
Yeah, and you're saying that you saw Kratos tweet about it and he didn't like it and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it's, I mean, I really believe it to you, because like this has obviously from like the more casual perspective, because even people that play ranked are still considered casuals technically. From a more casual perspective, people don't like being up against 4 stacks constantly, right? Especially if they're solo queuing. But from a more comp perspective, it's like, hey, ranked matchmaking is how I practice with a team when I can't find another team to play against.
It's the opposite.
What do you mean?
It's more so, hey, I'm playing this game casually, ranked, with my friends, and now I can't play with my friends, right? Think about it this way. The big streamers that play the game, Summit, now what's he going to do, right? All he's been doing is playing 4 stacks with his friends, matchmaking for fun. And now he's stuck with playing solo queue.
That's true.
He plays the game that way because he can play with his friends.
And you don't want to play quick play because like the loadouts are different. There's a radar. The melee is technically different damages.
Like the reason why ranked SWAT was popping off is just because it was ranked. Like that's the main reason. There's like a number. People care about the number a lot.
Yeah,
So
people like their numbers.
they do. They really do. Like since the beginning of ranked, like forever. I don't know. I'll see. Like I think they should try adding solo duo queue again. If it doesn't work out, then they could just force four stacks to verse four stacks like how other games do it.
Yeah, I
Valorant.
think
Yeah.
they should definitely try adding solo duo again. That's the cleanest solution, you
It
know.
was really nice. I'll be honest with you. They added it in Halo 5 towards the end. I think a year or two
Towards the
before.
end, Halo 5
Yeah.
had enough player base for that to be added towards the end.
I'm surprised. Yeah, it was like 2 years or so
Huh.
before it ended. And that's when they added it. And everyone's like, wow. And then a lot of people were playing solo duo queue.
Yeah, Halo's 5's lifespan was, I think, about 5 years.
Yeah, it
Like, around the
was.
5-year
Yeah.
mark, it was like kind of starting to die off. So so they kind of added it towards the middle, but still like longer. Like you would expect that. I thought that was always the case in the older Halo games too. I guess I never really paid too much attention, but if you go in with a 4-stack, you match other 4-stacks and stuff.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of like a standard.
That's how it was in the older Halo games?
I thought so.
It probably was, to be honest.
I remember at least like I don't know. It's hard to like think back to like matchmaking with people in those games. You don't really hold on to those memories and stuff. But I guess I don't know if it was or not. But
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the current system tries to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like think of it this way: imagine if Summit or someone's streaming with playing with 4 people, and they just don't find a match for like 2 minutes. They'll screw this, and they'll play something else, right? So I get why they're like, okay, fine, here play with either 2 groups of 2s or a bunch of solos or whatever the heck the mix ends up being.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, it's dependent on the population for sure.
Yeah, heavily.
100%.
Like I don't think the Halo Infinite team, especially Tashi, who handles the rank stuff, is that stupid that they do this on purpose if they didn't have to. You know what I mean?
I think they're just trying it out though, Loki. Like they mentioned that they're kind of trying it out. So if it doesn't end up working out, like they're pretty fast now with
That's true.
like changing stuff. They've been really fast lately with just.
I mean, the moment Tashi got his promotion, he's had to stop running into like a bunch of yellow tape. He's like, yeah, changes done, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The ammo nerf. They got rid of Streets. Streets. King of the Hill, Strongholds.
Yeah.
They added Plaza pretty fast. I'm gonna be honest, like it was a lot of pretty fast changes. Kind of caught us off guard. The King of the Hill changes. They've been working a lot.
Yeah.
Pretty fast. Yeah.
Wait, what King of the Hill? Oh, you mean
So
like
an instant? There's no cooldown when you go in. It just like starts right away.
Oh yeah.
They
Before there
changed
was
the
like a little wind up
locations
time, right?
Yeah, there's a wind up time, and they changed the location of some of the hills. They messed with the disruptor because it was like there's issues with it. They got rid of the pulse carbine. It's like a bunch of random things they did.
And all these changes, because they affect ranked, which means they affect HCS, means they gotta like take them after a lot of like testing or research and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm surprised
that the MLG team or the HCS team internally.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that's still a thing. Like social and settings and HCS settings should be like different. I feel like you're risking messing up social.
Yeah. Well, once again, that's kind of how it used to be. Is like, you would go into like ranked and things would be slightly tweaked different because it was meant for like slightly different play. Like one of the things in the past was always I think the damage that like a BR would do, or like your shields and stuff like that would be like stronger or weaker or something like that. They used to have those variables changed, and even like loadouts and stuff like that used to be totally separate from ranked and social. So I'm surprised they haven't gone more with that.
Yeah, but
it's kind of like a rock and a hard place, right? Which is actually what I responded to Chris' tweet with. If they had enough of a player base, they do it. If they didn't, they wouldn't. And yeah, no worries. If you gotta take a quick break,
I'll be right back.
Go ahead and take it. We can talk about some other stuff before we get into the
I was gonna say, on that, it's like rock and hard place though, player based stuff. Well, one might argue that by them not separating those two, then you are alienating and pushing away part of the player base.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So it's like if you, it goes back to what we've talked about many times before, is that like the heavy focus on MLG I'm gonna keep calling it MLG, but esports is kind of like, one of those things where if you go all in, you're actually alienating a large portion of the population. So,
well, in this case, they alienated that population, though, didn't they, by making this change?
yeah, that they did. And so one might say that they're trying to appeal then to the more social side. And then it
like
might
that
be
weird
seen as
social rank
overcorrection.
mix, right? Like,
Yeah, because like I would go into and do ranked and stuff more. I like seeing the numbers go up.
no, for sure. I mean, I don't think I'd ever really hit like 1700 Onyx. I don't think I'm that good enough.
Nah,
played the game.
Same here. I would like to see it just to rank up and have a little bit more of a challenge. So you can kind of go against or have some confident people. If you
and I mean, it's always fun spawning with the BR, right, and playing like without radar and things like that.
Yes, yeah, and that's one of the reasons why I did that. Though in Halo Infinite, I do like the AR in Halo Infinite. It's I think better than some of the previous
I'm actually seeing at least this time I'm paying attention, and I'm watching some of the matches, and the pros are picking up the AR and using it to get kills because it's like close or somewhat mid range. It's better than the AR if you can aim your shots.
Yep, and I've like found myself being really good with it. And it used to be one of those like guns that's just like, oh, this would suck, and it's like I don't want this, or this is like definitely like a noob gun or something. But now it's like, oh, this actually feels nice.
Yeah, the AR does feel good. Admittingly, it still pains me when I'm at a friend's place and I see them play quick play, and the match starts and they don't instantly switch to the pistol. I'm like, ugh. When you're close range, okay, keep the AR. But come on, bro.
Not even at long range, the AR is just broken, bro.
Not from as long range as you think. All right.
No, I sniped the guy with that gun before, bro, and I'm like, oh my god, they gotta fix it. But it's not that strong. It's just strong, I would say.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely stronger than previous games, and the pistol, I don't know. To me, it needs a bit more tweaking. For me personally, I feel like it was in a better state once before, and I think I liked previous games better than this pistol.
So they've been trying to tweak it a tiny bit. Like, I think this is a few months ago where they had a patch note where they said they messed with the last bullet for the when they're one shot. They said they messed with the headshot bullet magnetism or something like that. So it felt a little bit better, but it's still like I can clearly shoot the guy in the head and get like a blank. It's still a little bit annoying, I would say, the sidekick.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pros though, they use it like just for a really fast burst damage and they switch to their BR. Sometimes they do that.
Yeah, it makes sense. Makes sense because you can shoot it as quick as you press it, right?
Yeah. Well, no. There's a cap, but you can shoot.
I mean, of course. Yeah. Of course, there's a cap. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ever since those controller mods, they started adding in caps.
Yeah, good point.
Okay. All right. That's enough fluff. Let's get to the main topic of the event. Okay. So for those of you that do not know, myself and my brother Nuke, we went to Fort Worth the last weekend to attend the third and final major of the year for the Halo competitive series, HCS for short, or Halo Esports, you could say. What is that? Basically, it's just people playing the game competitively, ranked playlists, high stakes, large prize pool, a big fun event overall in general. Sorry, give me 1 second. Anyways, yes, sorry. So it's in Fort Worth this time. We actually just went recently to Arlington like a month and a half before. But Nick, I'm guessing you probably didn't catch much of the matches, right? I know you don't really watch ranked.
No, I don't really watch it, and I was just playing Starfield the whole time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it had to be when Starfield came out.
Yeah.
That being said, there were a lot of people there. We had a good time. Marie went with his team of fours. The cool thing about Halo Esports, or these events rather, is there's an entire group of people that are aspiring, that are trying to make it. And there's always an open bracket where it's, hey, any team can register, buy the team pass, show up at your team, playing this tournament with double elimination tournament. And the top 4 of that entire tournament are playing on the main stage the next day, right? That being said, with this being the third major of the year and almost 2 years into the scene of Halo Infinite Esports, the competition is incredibly intense. Like, there are few bad teams anymore in this game, which I think some people learned the hard way when they went in expecting at least one or two teams that'd be easy, and it's like, nah, you were the easy team for someone else.
Yeah, usually there's like 3 or 4 teams even in the 3 or 4 pro teams even in the open bracket, so it's always really tough. Like one of the teams in open bracket made it to top 6. Shopify, Ryan Noob's team, Shopify Rebellion, they made top 6, even though they had to climb through open bracket. And then Native White is a pro team in open bracket. LVT. I'm forgetting which 4th team made it out, but
not ascending baseline.
not ascending
G1.
baseline.
No, not G1.
Yeah.
Yeah, G1. Yeah,
G1. What?
Yeah.
G1 was in.
It's crazy, right? What are they doing in it's just that's how intense the competition currently is. That being said, the top 4 is for the most part pretty much the same few teams. But anyways, back to the event. So overall, I feel like we had a pretty good time. I'm just gonna show 1 or 2 clips that I recorded, just to give you guys like an idea of how the event was. This was me recording. I muted the audio because I'm yelling like an idiot, but this was me recording the back of Arib's team. This was a best of 5 series. They were down 2 games, and this is the 3rd game, and they came back. Sorry, this is the 5th game, and they came back and they won the series. So it was like incredibly hype. Like, oh man. But give me a second. Let me see. It's gonna zoom out a bit. Yeah. So see this how it's set up right now? That's kind of how like those open stations are. There's a bunch of Xboxes. They always play on Xboxes, which for some people is a massive nerf because they're used to like 250 frames per second. Let me see here, man. If I could put audio, I would, because that guy on the left, oh man, he was popping off. He was screaming at these other team members. Which is something.
Oh, the guy staying there,
yeah. I think that's their coach. But overall, the event was pretty fun. What do you think, Ari? Just general thoughts on Fort Worth?
On the event? Yeah, thank God. So at the last event was the Optic Major hosted by Optic.
Yeah.
So the booth area, like this open bracket area, was really small. They did not have that much space at all. So it was like people were bumping into you while you were playing and everything. Like it wasn't really set up properly. But this one was set up with like more than enough space for the players, for people wanting to watch each other. They had LVT was actually cast in the open bracket, so they were like going around and streaming some of the open bracket games. I'm not sure how they did it, but they did.
Yeah, I think they might have paid for internet or maybe gotten like a better.
Oh, they had a
PC
join the games and stream the games as well.
Oh yeah, they joined observers. Yeah,
they joined observers as observers. Yeah. This was the least teams we've ever had though. This was 60 teams. I think 60
this
teams.
Was less, man. It was like 40, 47 or something.
Someone tweeted it out, but yeah,
I think that included pro teams, dude.
Oh, maybe.
Right, because 48 plus 12 makes 60.
If you look at it this way, then okay, Raleigh had 215 teams, Kansas City had 130, Orlando 125, and then in 2023, Charlotte had 78, Arlington had 82, and then Fort Worth had 60. So yeah, I think it's including pro teams.
Yeah. For what's on the stream right now is me and my attempt to stream on Xbox Air's channel. People are saying it worked when I did the test streams the day before, so I figured, hey, let me do it this time. This is currently them playing the FFA, which we'll talk about. It's another giant tournament. Many people can register. Top 4 keep making it, blah, blah, blah. And, man, this VOD looks fun.
I made it for this one.
Yeah. But you're still sitting next to Acid, though.
Yeah.
Did you do the test VOD like in the event?
In the event, the exact same location, exact same place. I used a different account to do it. And man, like, see this VOD? This VOD looks okay, right? But then people are telling me, oh, stream is dead. Oh, it's not working. So I stopped streaming.
Huh.
But I mean, if this VOD would remain like this, maybe I would have just kept it up. You know?
Yeah.
I feel like it's easier. It's more entertaining when you like stay on a guy's POV, even if it's Acid, like one guy. Because you doing
that was more just like a hey, welcome to the event, guys. You wanted to see how it is? Take a look.
Yeah.
But that's like the underground, you could say, part of these events, these scenes, which is the open brackets, the parts that aren't streamed on TV for people. It's more you got to be there to see it happen. The cool part of this time around was they actually finished them early. Usually they go to like 9, 10, 11 p.m. This time both were done by like 6.
Yeah, that's facts. It was pretty fast. I wonder why. Because they just started really early, I guess.
They started early. They had less people, and I think they were just more efficient in running things this time around.
Less crashes, maybe. maybe.
Yeah, definitely.
So
could
I
be
know.
it.
So what they've been doing, what they've been telling everyone is to restart your build this time around. So they were like to make
restart the
sure that
entire console, right?
no, just restart the game. But like I think even
Oh,
that
okay,
helps
okay.
with crashes and whatnot. On the Series X, I noticed just even restarting the game will help the game out.
Yeah. If you what in the industry it's called killing the build, which is you have to exit out of the game fully, and not just keep it running in the background or whatever. Actually, like open up the little side thing and hit quit game, and that'll completely kill it. And it kind of gives it a time, like some chance to like refresh and kind of get rid of a bunch of like junk background processes that will just keep building up over time.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Back to Fort Worth.
So the actual event, like the
Yes, the
play and
actual.
the pro teams and whatnot. So this is the first time they had it. So the last place team in pool play wasn't out. They actually just started in the losers round in the lower bracket. I don't think it changed any team's placing, but it's still better. Like for Scoopmeister for the
Yeah.
Australian team, they fly out and they reach uh, Dallas on Thursday, and then it's like a 20-hour shift, right? And then they have a 20-hour, like such a long flight,
Yeah.
time zone difference, whatever. And then they play the next day, Friday, and usually they get last in their pool, and then they're out for the whole weekend. And
Yeah.
now, like they're screwed. So, but like this time they weren't out for the whole weekend. They started from the losers round one. I'm actually not sure how they did, but the main thing is that that team beat their best team in their region, so they qualified for Worlds. They did the qualifying for Worlds this weekend as well for the other region teams. The two best Mexican teams faced off, and the two best Australian teams faced off. So like that was really intense too.
Huh.
Yeah.
And both teams that won were the unexpected teams. Actually, they both.
Oh, out of those things, really?
Yeah, all those things. The underdog team won both times.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That makes
Hey,
it more.
that's actually really interesting.
Fun.
It's actually really interesting. Yeah.
What was I gonna say? This is something I think a lot of people you'll talk to like the attendees and they're complaining about like how these foreign, I guess you could say, teams, are guaranteed spots when they're worse than a lot of other teams, and like even like in the open bracket. But at the same time, it's like if you want to build a scene somewhere, right? You need to give them reason to watch the game. You know what I mean?
It's like that in robotics that I help out with. It's like we go to a worlds and stuff too, but there's teams like from many different other countries and stuff that compete at worlds, but like some of them only go to like one competition in their like home country because there's only a few teams, and then get sent over. And a lot of times they're not the best, but because there's not a lot of competition or a lot of there's not a lot of stuff in that like in their country to support that kind of thing.
But you do what you have to do, right? I mean, it's
I think a good example is probably Dota 2. Like at first, like there was only one region was good, right? I'm trying to think what region kind of really popped off. It wasn't
Europe.
a region that was that good before.
I'm
Europe,
pretty sure, right? It's probably because Dota was huge there.
I think because Dota 2 just continued supporting like all the regions, and eventually it kind of popped off. Like now we're seeing Quadrant pop off in Halo, which is nice.
Yeah. Finally seeing a friggin' European team do well. It's always nice to see. I mean, especially as someone that was not like a particularly huge fan of any one team, right? Like I want to see more teams do well. I want to see the scene kind of, just do well.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Other than that, in terms of Fort Worth itself, really quick. So the main thing I think that was really different in this event was that we actually had a really fun finals, which for whatever reason is relatively actually not for I know why. In Halo Infinite, right? We've already had this discussion, but to win a game or to win the entire tournament, you need to win the final match. Which, if you're coming from the lower bracket, as in you lost a series earlier in the tournament, you have to beat them twice in a best of 7. Which is incredibly difficult, especially if you've been playing like 4 different series the entire day. You're dead exhausted. What made this event super cool and almost had me sweating because it felt like they were gonna prove my tweet wrong was it actually got to a bracket reset game 7 which is insane. I've never seen that happen before in a friggin' in a LAN major for Halo Infinite, I should say. They still lost. It was still insurmountable, and they lost the last match very bad. But in terms of the sheer hype factor being there, oh man, that was easily the best event I've been to in terms of that.
Yeah, I feel like it's once you start losing in Slayer, like you have to change the way you play, and then they don't have to change the way they play. It just makes it harder for you. And then Formal is known to be really good at Game 7s, and
yeah,
he did really good. It was a fun series though overall.
Really fun series, and like leading into Worlds after like a series this exciting is really good. And it was also good for the scene. I always keep track of viewership. So last tournament I think capped out near like 70K for the finals, or close to it, maybe a little less, like 66. This tournament went out on Twitch, I should say. This tournament averaged usually around like 50, 48 or so, but for the finals it actually did really well. It hit like 80, 81K at one point, and that's with Summit streaming at the very end. Apparently he was going to stream more, but like his internet went out or something. Like,
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. In terms of viewership, I'm sure it's 343's happy because it was a good event. It was actually hype. People wanted to watch it.
Honestly, often making grand finals plays a big role into how hyped the event is.
Oh yeah, for sure. It helps the Halo scene a lot. Can be someone stole his overkill. Sorry, yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, because Optic's a bit more of a known team and stuff too. So that,
you know, it's crazy, man. As someone that only ever watched like say League of Legends or Dota 2 for the past like 10 years, I had never ever even heard of Optic Gaming, like ever, until I started watching a little bit of Halo, where I'm like, oh wow, everyone knows who these guys are. What the hell?
Yeah, I've as someone who's like well known for not watching LG stuff that much. It's like I always knew of like Cloud9. I think I've heard of like Optic back in the day or something.
Yeah, FaZe I've heard of, obviously.
Yeah, FaZe.
FaZe was only recently a competitive team though, right? Like within the last 3 years, I would say. 3 or 4, because before they were like a content creator team at first.
Yeah, I think I've heard of them from that.
Like from COD, Black Ops 2 days and stuff, and they'd do like trick shots and stuff like that.
Wasn't there a team or something called H2O? Is that one?
I think
H2O.
So.
Yeah. I just saw
they're
this.
like I think they're like old school though. They're like Halo.
I think that's an old team. Yeah.
Probably Halo 3.
Yeah, because I remember from the Halo 2 times, because I had a friend who was pretty good, and I think like tried out for him or like played some games with him or whatever for like trials and stuff, but like got like kicked out or denied because he teabagged the leader.
That's
oh my god, that's funny. That's funny.
This is really funny.
You know, I was watching these guys play, right? And I look away, a Reap team play. I look away and I look back, and all I see is a Reap like punching someone's body with the oddball, which is like massive disrespect. I'm like, what is going on? It turns out he got an overkill. So I was so excited.
No, I got overkill extermination, and I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, overkill extermination.
I don't remember the first 2 kills. I'm trying to remember. I can't. But the third one was a snipe. Man. I remember that.
What's currently playing, in case anyone's wondering, this is the highlights for day 3. So this is the finals between SSG and Optic Games. Went to a bracket reset. This match right here, this oddball, is one of the most intense matches of Halo I've ever seen. It was incredible. I have some cool recordings of live there. If I transferred them on my PC, I would have showed them. But anyways, moving on. Overall, I think Fort Worth was a pretty big success in terms of viewership. Definitely not in terms of people competing. In terms of attendees, it was packed. All the seats were full. People were standing up watching. That was clearly people still want to go to these events.
But their tickets didn't sold out, right? They didn't sold.
They didn't say they sold out. But Arlington, they said sold out, and like no one was there on Sunday. So I think they'd rather.
There's nobody there.
Because I'm assuming they'll make a lot of their money in like the merch and the food, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that's usually where a lot of the money gets made.
Oh, I guess one last thing that they did this time, which they haven't done in any previous Halo event, or Halo Infinite event, was they had side tournaments. So on Friday and Saturday, they had little tournaments running for Halo 3, Halo 2, Halo CE, Halo 5, and they had money involved too. It's like, hey, the top 2's member team would get like $300, or the top Halo Infinite 2's team would get $1,200, like a good amount of money. That being said, it's usually just the really good players.
Yeah.
Like, I
but-
think a lot of the money goes down at Worlds, right?
Say it again.
At Worlds, like, you don't have to get that high of a placing to get a lot of the money, right?
Oh no, I'm talking about the side tournaments.
Oh, the side tournaments, yeah. Oh, yeah. But even the fours is like, you don't make that much money at the majors unless you do pretty good. At
Yeah,
least
no.
in terms of prize pool.
I mean, the whole prize pool is what, 150.
I think it's 250, right? Probably the whole thing, from what I remember.
Sorry, 250. 250. First place gets 100.
Yeah.
Did they bring it down? So I'm seeing 129 for the lowest placement in FFA. Yeah.
Sorry?
So nothing. I was just seeing
Okay.
something else. Okay, and finally, the last thing that happened there, which is relevant to the podcast for a few reasons, is at the FFA tournament, which is, I think, something New competes in a fair bit.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see here, I competed too. In fact, I got top 113. That's not bad. That means that of everyone playing the game, I'm in the top 100.
You placed the same as Wiley? That's tough.
No, it means I got one round, all right, and actually I had to fight for that round. I tried just going around. Anyways, but at the near the very top is this guy right here. Woohoo! NuclearBlaze. Yeah, the video's a little behind, so you won't see it.
Yeah, I had my best FFA placing. It's still like it sucked because I lost due to deaths. I had more deaths than the other guy, but I tied and killed. So if I got one more kill before the game finished, I would have made it, but I didn't. And so I was like, bro, it was so upsetting. He got a triple kill. The guy got a triple kill in the last 15 seconds, and he knocked me out.
Ugh.
Yeah, it sucked. But thank God that guy is playing in the Worlds, in the Fours tournament next time at Worlds, so I don't have to worry about him.
Is anyone else playing in this out of the top 10? No, right?
Acid. That's just Acid.
Just Acid, huh? Dang, he got 4th in the finals too, eh?
Well, he took people's spot for no reason. That's crazy.
That is crazy. I wonder if like they gave it to like.
Oh, it might go to me.
No.
Oh, no.
Why would it go to you, fool?
No, I thought you were saying top 8, like qualify. I forgot it's top 6.
It's going to get nasty.
Yeah, it's gonna go to 7th spot probably.
Yeah. But anyways, okay. The reason why that's relevant is because we're heading to Worlds, which we'll talk about in a bit, and I'm taking my brother with me, and I'm paying for his flight because we all kind of broke, and I didn't want to go alone. So I'm like, hey, listen, if I'm paying for your flight, then like, you got to rep Xbox Era, right? When you go, like, like I'm going there repping Xbox Era, so it makes sense. So ideally, we get a couple jerseys, stick his name in the back, and once he gets first place, you'll see our brand front and center in front of everyone at the event. That'll be awesome. Fingers crossed.
Now it's gonna have like the Forge Era just underneath it too.
So I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually asking pre-drag if we can put like multiple logos on the jersey. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it'd be super cool having like the various
NASCAR.
Xbox Era logo. Yeah, basically, right? Various Xbox Era logos on there. Forge Era. You have, I mean, maybe our other one, which if that ever comes around to appearing,
she might tease later. Yeah. But yeah, it's like we need a 4th brand, so that because you know how Xbox Era's logo is like the 4 different colors.
Yeah.
Things. It's like we need some kind of like 4th brand.
So we technically have 2 other brands, which we don't really, well, one he's used a lot, Coffee with Cabeza, right? He used to stream constantly when his internet wasn't trash. Then we have Day One, which
I guess Day One would be
right.
I guess Day One would kind of be the other one. And
put a lot of money in that app. So
what would Day One be about?
Basically, it's just it was like this website we made or paid to get made about like games coming to Game Pass Day One and sorting Game Pass games and things like that. It's cool. It's really cool, but it required.
You guys already kind of do that now with Xbox Era. You guys talk about the Day One games.
We kind of do. We're supposed to have a podcast specifically for that and kind of like, hey, these are the hidden gems. And there's a lot of things we want to do, but it's all volunteer for almost everybody. There's limited time, you know?
Yeah, like hidden gems of Game Pass. That might be a good one. That might be a good idea.
It's a really good idea. That's why we want to do it. But
that's a good idea for sure. Because people like see Game Pass and like too many games and they're just overwhelmed.
Yep.
It's just too much effort for them.
And yeah, Emily, it really was such a good series. Like it was, if Worlds can have even a little bit of that hype going into it or at the event, it's gonna be so good. And for those watching, if you could do us a favor and click the like button when you can. I try to think of like the super cool segue at the back of my head, like John does. Can never get there. I think I'm gonna write a few. To get there. But okay, all right. Moving right
another
along.
thing that was pretty cool at Dallas was the fact that it really is like a rock paper scissors game for some of the teams because Quadrant 3-0'd Optic, and then LVT not random, like an open bracket team beat SSG, which is another like that team made grand finals.
Yep.
And Shopify took phase to game 5. Like so many teams did
Complexity
so well.
took Quadrant to a game 5. Like
really, I didn't even know that. Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Now that's the fun part of watching these events.
Here's a segue. We're gonna move along to the next topic. Like you should move your mouse over to the like button.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe you should do the like segues. But okay, all right. Sure. So next topic I wanted to touch on was kind of one that a lot of people are thinking of, which is so year 2 is basically over, essentially, right? How was it? Was it successful for HCS? Was it successful for 343? Did it make enough money to keep going? Like, Ari, what do you think?
I'm surprised they can afford the $1 million prize pool for Worlds. I'm not gonna lie, but it's something they allocated from beforehand. Like,
that's what I'm thinking, right?
It's $1 million. Jeez.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, a lot of money.
Maybe I should get a career change.
Just straight up, right? But
it's a lot. It's crazy. But overall, yeah, it feels like it's been kind of even though the game's been better, to be honest, like the attendance has been worse since year 1. It's been pretty low. So I wonder what they're gonna do. I mean, there are rumors. Like, you want to talk about the rumors right now, or talk about that later?
We will talk about that later.
Okay.
Let's look at just year 2 for now.
Well, just year 2. I mean, they added one map, right?
Yeah, I think it was just Plaza, right?
And Pit too.
Plaza and Pit. Yeah. Was Pit this year?
Yeah, I think so. So they added 2 ranked maps.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they can do better next
year. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, it kind of like they had a bunch of majors. They were all in the same area. They were all kind of close to each other. Like one thing, there was an interview with Tashi before the year started with LVT, where like everything we do this year is about sustainability, right? It's about we're reducing events overseas because not enough people are watching it. They were too expensive, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. Oh, this was what I missed. Oh my God, he got a triple kill with this thing right off the bat. That's why people were screaming. Sorry, I put on a video of the show match, which is another big team battle bonanza, which is a lot of fun to watch. And I went to get tea when this was happening. I heard people screaming. It says Golden Boy got a triple kill in the first 2 seconds.
Isn't it Ubernick? He's showing Golden Boy, but it's Ubernick's account.
What do you mean?
On the left, it shows Ubernick. When he gets a kill, it shows the name.
What, really? Is he playing on the wrong account?
No, I think he's showing the wrong face cam.
Wait, no way. Oh, so that's what they meant. Okay, so when this ended, right? While she picks up the thing to trash talk, how much did you pay the observers to have your face on when they got that triple kill?
He looks so locked in too, eh?
Yeah. Exactly.
Locked in. He's like, I got this, guys. He's playing BTB. So funny.
So this is like show match or some pro players playing. That being said, some pro players clearly take this very seriously. We had SLG, a player from Quadrant, just popping off, getting snipe after snipe after snipe. But yeah, in terms of year 2, I mean, at the end of the day, we'll see what they think, and I think we'll know how successful it is depending on how year 3 ends up being. Right?
Yeah, I wonder. I was trying to like remember the years and stuff. For going back to like the lower population and stuff like that, I wonder if some of that is attributed to just Halo's kind of slight decline for a while in population.
Oh, for sure.
And it's now like I think it's like plateauing or something. I know I had a spike not too long ago, but
so like the PC players has gone up, Before it used to average at like 4.5. Since I think Summit really got into it, and now it's averaging at like 6. So it went up a little bit. And by PC I mean Steam, I should say. But yeah, definitely. There is.
And then I think the other factor though too is like possibly the U.S. economy at least. Just
could be it.
You know, if people aren't going to the events and stuff like that, you know, ticket prices are much higher now than they were, you know.
I mean, that's 100% affected like teams, right? Like for the first event, Riley and a few of the other ones, a lot of orgs were just extending players. So like, yeah, we'll pay for your flight, go, even if the players weren't that great, like a Reaps team. They were sending. They're sending people left and right to attend. At this point, 2 years into the scene, things have kind of mellowed down. The excitement's not as high as it used to be. Everyone kind of knows, hey, the scene is really, 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 really hard to really get into, right? To do well, you got to be like damn good. The competition is really high. And I think people, there's definitely an element of like the people that went there were the people that were already coming, you know?
And if all the things are in like one area too, then it's like, you know, if everything's spread out more, it's easier for people to like drive or go somewhere that's close rather than you know, always flying to like Texas or whatever.
Fully agreed. And that's actually what I was going to say next. I mean, this is the second major in Texas, literally like 25 minutes from each other. People could be like, hey, listen, I went to the last one. I don't really got to go to this one, you know? Well, if you have one in Chicago, it's like, oh, hey, there's one near us. Let's go. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Especially for the more casual, the easier teams, right? The easier.
Yeah, a lot of people picked between Arlington and Dallas. They picked one of the two.
Yeah, that makes sense. That being said, the level of competition is just as high as it's ever been, if not higher. Because the teams that do come are damn good at what they do.
Like the top 25 are the same top 25. Like that's not changed.
Yeah. Speaking of your team placed top 24, right?
No, 29th.
29th. Yeah, close enough. But okay, speaking of how Halo 2, the year 2 did, the next topic is indeed year 3. And by year 3, I mean basically the year 2022 was year 1 because it was the whole year of competition. 2022 was year 2. 2023 was year 2. 2024 is going to be year 3 of Halo Infinite Esports. We know it's happening. Actually,
how do we know it's happening?
No, you're right. Technically, it's not confirmed that it's happening for sure.
There's still a chance that it actually doesn't happen, like a legitimate chance.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Because like, why would they work on sustainability so much if like they're not even gonna have a year 3? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it really feels like it probably is.
If year 2 did well enough, like by them sustaining it and keeping kind of stuff above the water, then I think that they won't end it, and especially since so much of the game went into developing esports side of things that it's going to come back. It's a money maker for them. It brings in some viewership and stuff like that, so I don't think they're going to get rid of it.
I think year 3 is a given. I mean, again, we don't know for sure, but it's almost certainly. The question is the budget going to remain as high? Are there going to be as many events? Is the money in the events going to be as high? You know, things like that.
Probably not, right? Probably not. Like
I don't think they do a major with a smaller prize pool, but I think they might reduce the amount they do.
Yeah, maybe like
you know
Worlds will be smaller, like 500K or something like that.
I could see that. I mean, Worlds already has like different level of hype behind it. As if we're like screwing up the flag run. They did end up flying out.
Actually, that would be weird. Maybe they would stick with the high. I feel like the whole point of Worlds is that it's $1 million prize pool. Like
exactly.
It's always
they're not going to reduce that. That's a big a big draw. You know, someone says $1 million, they're like, oh, that's awesome. That's legit.
And even for the comp teams, it's like, listen, like even if we don't win a single event the entire year, if we win Worlds, boom, right? We just made like $100,000 each. Like it's
facts. That's true too. And like I feel like maybe they'll reduce the number of events to cut costs.
It would be easier for them to do that. If they reduce events, that would greatly reduce the amount of cost that they have towards them. And they could always spin it as like that they couldn't get, some like venues or something during the times they want. Like they could spin it in ways to make it seem like they're not trying to make budget cuts.
Yeah.
If they wanted to try to hide that. But that's where I see they would be cutting back is the amount of events, because the events cost a shit ton of money.
Yeah. So they had 6 LAN events technically this year, with one more coming up. So 6 in total. And they had the Charlotte, they had the DreamHack Dallas, they had Arlington, they had the one in Salt Lake City, and then they had Fort Worth and now Worlds. So maybe one less invitational, maybe one less major. We'll see. I feel like that would probably be something they'd do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I mean, it's it'll depend, I guess, how it goes. But like a big backbone of the game right now is the competitive side of it.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like I know it doesn't have like crazy viewership like League of Legends does, whatnot, blah blah blah. But it still is amongst, I want to say, like the top 10 probably most watched esports in terms of like peak viewership numbers. Overall, right? What was the website rate that was used?
Hello, wait, for what?
For the tiers of esports.
I don't know. I think it was some random article. Like I think it was. I think it was just an article.
But someone made it like a tier of esports based on like their top viewership they receive in a year, blah blah blah, things like that. And everything's over. Like for example, Worlds, I think even last year got more than 100K people watching it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it hit like 113 or something.
I mean, probably 100% more because they had Optic in the grand final. When you have Optic in the grand finals, it makes a big difference.
It's just I don't understand how they have such crazy fans. I'll be honest. Like these fans are. I don't want to use the term rabid, but they're rabid. You know, like it's.
Some of them low key, some of them low key. Like, that's why people don't like them too sometimes.
It's like that though for like really any kind of sport out there.
Yeah, 100% it is. 100% it is. True. And you know what it is, Arib? It's people like Seb or like one of his teammates that like grew up watching professional COD or things like that, and this one team just kept showing up again and again and again, and they got really, really into it. Because we kind of forget, right? Like me and you, Nick, we're like what, 28? We forget that there's been people who grew up with literally Twitch instead of. You're 29 already? I'm 28 for another 3 days. All right. Yeah. So
I'm 29. Slowly quickly approaching 30.
So. Oh, stop! No, I don't. I don't want to think about that, man. I'm still 28. All right. But anyways, God damn it! What they're talking about?
Yeah, the fan base for Optic.
Yes. So not just we're 29, 28, right? And there are people, we grew up on television. We grew up on crap like YTV, like cartoons. We'd come home after school, we'd watch cartoons. There are people that have grown up on Twitch, literally, watching their favorite streamers just every day for like a million years.
But like to a point, they just take it too seriously. Like
oh, for sure.
Or like the things that they say, like they're so used to seeing their team win, like or Optic win, or they want Optic to win so badly that they'll just start talking trash about the pro players. Like they start talking trash about APG. That's the guy that everything. And it's like at the end of the day, the guy's still a top tier pro player. Like,
yep. What annoys me most about it's
a lot of the toxicity that kind of has been, or that MLG and like esports and stuff like that. Well, at least in the Halo scene for sure, it's kind of been known for is that. A lot of that trash talking and that kind of attitude and stuff towards fellow gamers. So.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, it's like they don't even know anything about it, but they'll just put their input.
What annoys me are people that like want washes. You know what I mean? Like as a fan of the game, you should want exciting games, exciting matches, exciting series. I don't care how big of a fan you are of a team. You shouldn't want it to just be a wash. I'll watch the flipping Leafs every time they play. Right? I don't want them to win every single series ever. That's boring. Like
it just becomes if everything's just a wash, it just becomes boring. And it's even like that for playing games. At least for me.
Yeah.
When I play a game, it's like I would rather I'd rather be on a losing streak where I lose by just a few points, consistently, than getting washed every single time. Because then at least if I'm losing by a few points or whatever, then at least I'm still having fun, and I know that it was like a really good close game. They were just slightly better, or the universe decided to give them one extra kill or something. Now, obviously, if that goes on for like 10 matches, then it kind of starts getting annoying. But but yeah, it's totally different than getting washed, though.
Yeah, it's I guess mentalities. But anyways, okay, moving on. All right, so one of the major rumors we have for year 3 and for ranked playlists in general is Bandit starts. This is something a lot of people have been talking about a lot.
It's because they tweeted, or Tashi mentioned there was going to be a major meta change, so everyone's assuming it'll be the Bandit kind of thing.
Interesting.
There's other like people are just saying it'll probably be the Bandit and whatnot, so that's what we're assuming.
I wonder if it's that, or they're gonna add or drop a new equipment or primary weapon.
You know,
we haven't seen any leaks about any new.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was about to mention things have been kind of like tight, huh? Not completely, which we're gonna see momentarily. But whose tweet?
Saracia, he was saying that.
Yeah, I'm actually about to pull that up right now.
Oh yeah.
But before we get to season 5 stuff, just finishing up with HCS. So here's the last question I wanted to ask you guys: is how long do you think Halo Infinite's competitive scene will last overall?
Probably another. As someone who's not in it as much, I would probably say 2 years. I had to kind of look at previous stuff.
Yeah, I think 2. That's optimistic, actually. I could see the next year being the last one, but 2 is 2 would be nice.
I personally, I think it really depends on what they want the next Halo game to be. If they want the next Halo game to be just another Halo game, another multiplayer, another campaign, the whole package, blah 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 blah, then yeah, 2 years makes sense. Completely shut down Halo Infinite multiplayer at that time, refocus, shift over, right? Makes sense. Not completely shut down, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if they're kind of changing things up a bit and they want to keep Halo Infinite as the Halo multiplayer game, even if it doesn't hit amazing players,
it's supposed to be a service, so
exactly,
I don't think
right?
shut down.
You don't see Fortnite stopping content to make a Fortnite 2. If Halo Infinite was trying to be that kind of game, right? And even Overwatch's 2 was done at the behest of their friggin' executives, and people didn't like it.
No, it bombed. People hate Overwatch 2.
Yeah.
From what I've heard of the people who play it.
A lot of people are still playing it. Like, it's still decently high in the player list. I mean, it's Overwatch with more content.
They don't have Overwatch 1 anymore.
Fair enough. But the way I look at it is, if the next Halo game isn't a traditional Halo game, if it's more campaign focused or whatnot, blah blah blah, they keep it going for as long as it has good viewership, is what I think.
Yeah, I think they'll keep running with the free to play Halo thing, and then if there is another Halo, it's just going to be just a big expansion onto the campaign.
That would be ideal, best case scenario for me, in my opinion.
Now, maybe they might release. I mean, I don't think that they are working on any campaign stuff right now. I haven't heard of anything. I haven't seen any rumors or anything like that about. In fact, they cut a lot of the campaign team not long ago. But I was gonna say, I could see them maybe dropping it with whatever Certain Affinity is working on, the Tachanka. That would be, I think, the next Man,
I swear,
chapter.
I feel like we said the word Tatanka for the first time on this show maybe 2 years ago, maybe more than 2 years ago. And even now, we've heard nothing concrete about that damn thing. Is it real? Is it not? What's happening?
Yeah. And I know it was real at some point, and but yeah, I have no idea where it's at now. Starting to finish just announced their
they're making a new prototype game or something. So what's happening?
Yeah, so for all we know, that was Tonka, and they converted it into something new, and who knows?
Dude, this is the problem with code names, man. It's fucking jazz. But okay, all right, moving on. The next on the list was Worlds, but we already talked about Worlds. It's probably going to have more side tournaments, going to have the community stage, the cosplay contest. Oh, speaking of, so one thing that kind of surprised me and Reeb was I talked to a lot of younger kids at the event this time. People literally maybe 16, 17, 18 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh yeah, it's our first Halo event. We were in the area, wanted to try it out. And I'm like, dang, okay, all right. And it was just interesting seeing younger people energy in the scene, which is something generally people think only old hats like us play Halo, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But it's
I
nice to
saw
see.
like a 10-year-old kid playing FFA too, like a little kid.
Really?
Yeah, he was pretty
He
good.
got decimated, I'm sure.
Probably.
But okay, all right. So final thing for the topic today is Season 5 is about to come up around the corner. Speaking of, I think it is basically confirmed that Season 5 will be playable at Worlds, which makes sense considering Worlds is the weekend of the 13th, and Season 5 comes out, I think, the 17th, that Tuesday. Let me check my own Xbox Era article. Xbox, because I found it. I saw Xbox Era, Halo Infinite, Season 5.
Yeah, it sounds about right. Yeah, either way, I mean, they are close together for sure. Season 5, yes.
Yeah, October 18th.
Out.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So literally the week after Worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will be attending Worlds. So will my brother. So keep an eye out for the site for news or first looks at Season 5 possibly. I'm assuming they'll have revealed it a fair bit. You know what? Okay, speaking of. So when I went to Charlotte, right? Season 3, I think, was playable at the time. But this is before they revealed like the battle pass and everything. But I had the full battle pass in front of me. Do you think they would have gotten mad if I just like took a picture of each one and update and posted it on the site? Like, I didn't sign no forms.
Probably.
They probably would have, right? Which is why I didn't.
Yeah.
I wanted.
Yeah. It's like, especially with us being a Halo podcast and us trying to, build the relationships with 2 or 3. They probably wouldn't like us leaking stuff like that.
Someone did post it on Reddit. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, I let them do it. They're not part of our team.
Like I'm sitting playing friggin' Escalation Slayer, and I'm like, man, I can just go through everything. But okay. Yeah, World is coming. I'm planning on going. If anyone watching wants anything specific, I'm gonna try and speak with a few people. Really trying to push Xbox Era. To be honest, I have no idea what to do. I am awful in like single conversation situations. So we'll see. Dude, friggin' Nick, I was wearing the YHMAH Halo shirt, right? And I was walking by Uni. He was watching a series, and I asked him a question about the series. Is like what the series was, because I was curious, wanted to know. And he's like, yeah, it's this. And I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. And as I'm walking away, he's like, oh, nice shirt. Which is clearly a conversation opener, right? Like clearly that's like for me to go, oh, yeah, thanks. Yeah, I know you guys just retweeted our thing and you liked it. We're looking forward to working with you, blah, blah, blah. I was just like, thanks, and walked away.
You idiot.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I'm so awkward. This is why I need a second person, man. Nick, you should take it off, man. You should come. It'll be fun.
But kind of going back to what we said earlier about the economy, money and stuff. It's like,
actually, even myself, man, I've been trying to look for work for like months. I haven't found anything. I'm gonna start taking more hours at my part-time job, which will, I guess, not be part-time anymore. Like,
yeah. I'm trying to find a house, so that's hell of its own. Yeah. So I'm not looking for a new job while I'm doing that too, because I'm like,
you know what though,
too much going on at once.
If they announce the events for year 3, and if there's one within drivable distance, by that I mean like 8 hours, sub 8 hours, 100% you should come with us.
I'll go. Yeah, I was actually thinking that earlier, as I was gonna make that comment. Is like if it was in Chicago or whatever. I hate Chicago. It's so much traffic and hell to drive in. So I hope it's not Chicago. But if it was somewhere like close,
Ohio would be nice, right? I'm just saying. Apparently, a lot of Halo events happen in Ohio.
Yeah, make it Columbus or something. Yeah,
I feel like they have to have one East Coast event next year.
Right.
They should.
And please don't do New York. New York sucks. No one wants to drive to New York. It's flipping hell.
I think it's probably gonna be way too hard for them to get a
venue,
convention center or something like that for New York. It's like they typically won't go for. The only reason why they're doing like Seattle and stuff is because they're headquartered there. Mm-hmm. But I think even next year, I don't think it'll be at Seattle.
And they probably save money in Seattle in terms of like transporting like some of their assets and things like that.
Oh yeah,
right.
Well, it all goes around in a big truck. I think. Oh, I'm pretty sure it's like one or two semis or something like that transports everything. So they drive from one event to the
Did you ever attend one of those Halo outposts?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I kind of know a little bit about the back end stuff. It's like because those were all in shipping containers. Everything was modeled and designed to fit into the shipping containers, so that way it could be transported easily.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, I ended up going to the one in Texas.
Interesting.
Time.
Okay.
And yeah, because I was like, why? I was like, I really want to go to one. I got a free ticket and like all access thing or whatever. Because at the time I was working in the studio, so I got like some of the cool like special treatment stuff, which was pretty awesome.
That's sick, man.
But
that's sick.
But yeah, I took me and my friend, roommate at the time, to there because I was able to get 2 free tickets. So like, you know, one for me and one for a guest, and so got him it, and then like we flew down there and all that. But yeah, but essentially what they did is they just pack everything up into storage containers and they just drive it to the next places. So a lot, and unfortunately, they want to do it again. At least last I heard and stuff years ago after this, and they really wanted to do it again. But and it's good they didn't because the year after COVID hit. But it's just was a lot of they need big spaces. One to get to like deploy all that stuff. And it's hard to find venues.
Things are expensive and logistics. I mean, it's all logistics, right? End of the day.
Big part of it.
Okay, back to season 5 really quick. So Raja, for anyone who don't know, oh my god, what the heck did I just click? No, go back.
Raja is someone on Twitter who is pretty well known for acquiring leaks and stuff.
Yep. So this is something they posted 9 hours ago, just pretty recent leaks or rumors. Forge really seems to be another one of the big things changing with season 5, which, hey Nick, this is your territory. Forge AI, which we've been talking about. Node graph improvements, modes as prefabs, new canvases with the plural, new palette, and much more. Whatever the hell that means.
New palette. I wonder what the new palette might be. I know they wanted to expand the brute palette. I think so. I think that's something they wanted to expand a while ago.
It'd be cool if they switched over to Covenant though, because we already have a lot of banished stuff.
People do want that, and I'm pretty sure that's in the works. Don't know when that would be though, but I think we could probably expect banished stuff to drop.
So what does it mean by mode prefabs? What the heck does that mean?
So I think they'll, if I had to guess, I haven't touched Forge in so long.
I hope Storage's tweet.
I'm pretty bad at being a co-host on a Halo podcast where I haven't touched Halo in a while.
No worries.
So it's like you'll be able to make something in the game, like with script brains and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I think be able to put that out as a, hey, this is a mode, and like you just need to drop this into it, and maybe you can like be able to set up other parts, whatever the mode needs, like spawn points or whatever. You'll be able to drop that into whatever map, and then because that's there, maybe then now you'll have actual like mode selection of just like, okay, this is the mode I want. This is gonna be like, it would be like selecting a map and modes and stuff now. So that would be my guess. It's just an easier way for them to for people to make like mini games and different modes and stuff and show those out there. That would be my guess. Or they're actually bringing back a lot of the old mode prefab or old mode customization options and stuff like that, where you don't have to do the scripting. You just apply stuff in the screen, in the lobby or whatever. That would be cool.
Yeah, that would definitely be interesting.
So, that would be my guess.
I don't know anything about Forge stuff.
Yeah. I mean, I'll play this stuff. Though, speaking of Forge, hey, we officially announced the submission page for the Forge contest, for the Infection Forge era contest.
I was just about to segue into that too.
Nice.
Great mind. So check our the Forge era Twitter. That would be the best place to find all of that. It's Forge_era is the Twitter handle or X handle, whatever it's called now.
God.
And there you'll find that we have I updated the original article so that way it's like has the submission form and everything like that. There's not a whole lot of people that have submitted yet. I think there's like 1 or 2 people that submitted right now.
Okay.
But usually like people submit closer to the end
sense.
time, which
I still want to make a trailer for it.
20th.
I actually asked Reeb if he could play some infected games in the next couple of days, so I can get some footage.
Yeah,
because I'm not going to have the game to get
this weekend.
Footage.
That'd be great because we're running out of time for that.
This weekend, I could. I'll try
because it's the 20th. It's the 20th and stuff. So
it kind of depends on how fancy you want it. I mean, like if you wanted to do stuff like in theater mode with like the camera angle change and people like running stuff like that, it might take a little longer because I'm not really used to that. I'm not sure how to do that exactly yet.
It doesn't have.
But if you want it for the most part, just like, hey, here's a song, here's gameplay synced to the song, I can do that in a day. That's something I have fun doing.
And then basically stuff could pop up and like this and this and this.
So the text is interesting because we usually have pre-drag do it, but I feel like I could take a stab at it and try directly through.
Or if it's just for like that submissions are open, because I mean realistically we should have had a video done a long time ago so to help promote it.
Yeah.
But either way,
honestly, we could do like a short like 30 40 45-second video. Just be like hype up infection and then at the very end be like submissions open now, right?
Yeah, it would be a hype up thing. Because if you have a map that you already made, as long as it's like within the time frame, which is like July something. It's in the article. I
wonder
as long as within there you can convert whatever map into an infection map.
You think they get mad if I just used like the sound from their trailer and just like make my own video for it? You know what I mean? Sync up the bullets and stuff.
Doesn't get the copyright strike.
It shouldn't. Halo Infinite's usually pretty good with that. And apparently so is Oblivion. I used an entire song in a video recently and it was fully optimized. We had a good time. But what was I gonna say? Okay. Anyways,
back 2 weeks. 2 weeks until submissions close.
Oh my god, that's nothing. Yeah, I have to do it this weekend then.
Yeah, that's what I say. You kind of need to do it this weekend if you want to do one. But yeah, 2 weeks. Please submit. Just to go over the pricing though before we pivot away. We updated it. We got some pricing from 343. They are giving people the winners. So we have 2 categories: non-linear and linear maps. And we'll have a winner and a second place for each of those. And the winner for each one gets $50 worth of Halo credits, and second place gets $25 of Halo credits. So that's what they decided to contribute, which very happy and grateful for. Yeah, it's like really cool to work with them. And
they're helping promote it too, right?
Yeah. I think they've been kind enough to like retweet it and stuff for us too, which has been pretty awesome. And on top of that, for pricing, you also get possibility to end up here on the podcast. It'll probably be a pre-recorded podcast, just because we're not amateurs. We don't do that stuff live. That's too risky.
Yeah, 100%.
So, but it'll be that, and then a featured video of your map and everything too, an extended like deep dive, thing like that. So, unfortunately, we're unable to give like a bunch of like prize money and stuff because like we all do this for free and don't get paid ourselves and stuff.
And man, that book hurt us a bit. So.
Yeah. So it's so yeah, we don't have that, but we have a bunch of other things like exposure and we might throw in some free games and stuff too.
And hey, who knows? Maybe the winners of these contests might be looked at more so from 343 when they decide to put Forge maps into Infection.
That is some of the reasons why we are picked Infection and trying to get it. I won't say like I'm not confirming and stuff that they will be looked at and stuff because I haven't heard if they will or not. But typically, these generate a lot of eyes from 343 on for contests like this for maps that people make. So by competing in these contest, you do have a higher chance of getting put into matchmaking.
I mean, kind of just making 3v3's job easier, right? Like they're just like,
yeah,
look at the best
we're creating for them, essentially.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, and finally, back to season 5 really quick. So we had one more tweet from someone named SickGen, who I guess knows some stuff. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming. Anyways, 343 is about to have a pretty big win in their hand with season 5. If you thought season 4 was great, you'll really enjoy season 5. And he said, in terms of what he can say or what they can say, Firefight and one other major, not Tatanka, thing. Which I feel like is something we've been talking about for a while. Firefight and 4JI, right? I mean, those go hand in hand.
Yeah. The 4JI and stuff, I think that's been rumored and hinted at for a while. People think that that's coming soon, and if I had to guess, it probably would be. Definitely like either this season, if not this season, then the next. I think that's just how close it is. And then obviously Firefight is a huge thing that people have been wanting.
Yeah, exactly. More PVE content in general, right? Like look at Husky Raid. A lot of people playing it. They I think immediately made it a staple playlist, isn't it? It's not going away. A friend of mine's playing it a lot. A friend of mine's in Korea, and he's like, I want to play it. He can't because he's not here. But but okay, all right. I think that is essentially okay. I guess the last thing I wanted to say is, so season 5, right? Will it be enough to bring back more players? Which kind of goes hand in hand with something we've talked about in the past, which is like that leaked marketing we've seen with G Fuel coming back or Gamer Fuel coming back.
Oh yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know those.
Too bad it didn't come out now. Otherwise, I'd be pounding that shit while I play Starfield. right now, I just have monsters.
Oh my god! But there was a couple tweets today or a few days ago talking about how even though 343 is done a lot, blah blah blah, 3 Infinite's gone, it's missed the boat, it's never coming back. This that. I don't know, man. I don't know if I agree with that.
No, I don't either. I think if the rumors are true and stuff, and we have Firefight and campaign AI and stuff like that, then I think that will help bring people back for sure. And it's one of those things where it will. Well, one, campaign AI opens up the world of people making their own missions and stuff for Halo, and it's like those typically do well on game stuff like this because like you don't need a bunch of people to play those. Like you can go in with like a friend or whatever and play that mode, or that like campaign.
Dude, I didn't even think about co-op missions.
Yeah, and on top of that, Firefight is another one of those things where it's like you don't need a lot of people to go and play that. And it's like, yeah, you can go into matchmaking stuff and play, but after a while that, some people just don't like having to, especially if they're not good, they don't like to play in matchmaking. So PVE stuff is like really good because it gives you a good challenge. And it's like if you get, completely destroyed, you just say the AI is hacking.
Exactly. So, screw this game, cheating game. Who made this game?
Yeah.
And you know what, man? I feel like a lot of people, it's been so long that people don't remember how well Halo Infinite plays when it comes to like the campaign and shooting the aliens,
Yeah.
Which is when it had 20 million players at launch. People were playing the campaign and multiplayer. So you bring in Firefight, people are like, yeah, damn, this is a lot of damn fun. The sandbox is pretty damn good,
Yeah, they did some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah.
With Firefight, yeah, I don't doubt that. Interesting.
It should have been here earlier.
missions.
Yes, everyone knows. Before anyone says it, yes, it should have been here earlier. Of course it should have. It's coming here now, right?
Yep. And I wonder if here, brain nugget. What if I don't know if that's a term or not. What if when they release Firefight, they release like some kind of like the silenced pistol or whatever too from like ODST. And what if that's the meta? What if that's the meta change for for ranked?
I love that pistol. I seriously love it. That'd be something.
I don't think using a silencer is enough to sneakily kill someone in a ranked game or in a professional game. Guys, I died, but I have no idea how I died or who killed me. Maybe what if the only way it does is if you die to it, your comms get muted for 5 seconds. That's the
That'd be great.
But okay, all right. So that is essentially, I think, all of our topics for the show today.
So then to circle it back to, do you think?
And yeah, NRX commenting a little bit. Sorry, just he's agreeing with you, Nick, and he's saying it'd be like campaign with your multiplayer Spartan, like what they promised earlier, or what they said was planning on coming earlier.
Yeah, which would be awesome, and I really hope that they stick to putting your multiplayer Spartan in campaign.
Yeah,
that'd be so cool.
Who knows? All we know is Pierre's cooking. You know what I mean? If season 4 and is representative of what the studio is like under his leadership, then he's cooking big time. Right? I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got coming.
Yeah, he's cooking, and I like the smells I'm getting.
Right,
right. Whatever's coming from that kitchen it smells tasty.
Okay, we have no questions because once again I posted this way too late. I promise next time I'll post it earlier. I was just exhausted. Man, I swear.
I was trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure out the forums on mobile.
Dude, I feel like you need to take a vacation from your vacation at times. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
But okay, all right. That. And we might, I'm just trying to see how the show lines up. We might either move a week forward or go twice. Just so it lines up with the day after Worlds, the Wednesday after Worlds. Anyways, that's something for tomorrow. Anything else you guys want to say before we sign off?
Yes. So to kind of hinted at it earlier, but starting with episode 80, there may be some you all might see some changes. Hopefully the changes are pretty big. We're trying to get some stuff in the works. But I think one of the changes that we can probably implement no matter what at 80 is that we're going to start doing a pre-show. So for the time being, it's not going to be locked behind like any kind of like sponsorship stuff or whatever. It's just going to be essentially us starting at 7:30 still. But we're going to basically move the podcast back that half hour and start it at 8. Because it seems like that's typically when a lot of people start joining in anyways. So
and the pre-show will be like won't be limited to Halo. It'll just be just having fun, talking about the games and movies, blah blah blah, just in good time.
Yeah, just kind of like talking about like whatever. And
it might be Halo if there's big Halo stuff,
Yeah, we'll try to save the Halo specific stuff for the main podcast, the main chunk of it, just in case people don't want to join in the pre-show. But pre-show, we can chat with you guys a bit more easily, and just have a more open conversation about stuff.
Yeah, something kind of fun.
So we're gonna give that a try.
And who knows, if it goes well, I'll try and convince Jesse to do the same on their end. But they got like weird time zones. We're all the same, so it works out.
Yeah.
That's actually that's a great shout. We did have a question in the chat from Tausif. He's asking, how many maps do you think Firefight will launch with? And I don't really play Firefight much. So what do you guys think?
If it launched with some stuff, obviously it needs at least one. Otherwise, what's the point? But I don't think it will see more than 3. I feel like they'll give it 3 maps just so there's a good variety, but something that didn't totally tax them. We lost.
Oh wow. Does that mean we lost the stream too? How does that work?
Oh no, the stream is just like kind of all. It's all kind of messed up now. There he is.
Refreshed. We're back. I'm surprised you guys even noticed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I watched the cameras the whole time, but
So minimum 1, and you're thinking probably 3 is what you're saying?
Yeah, I think 3 is probably the safe bet.
Yeah, I think probably 2 to 3. 2 to 3 makes sense.
Yeah,
definitely more than 1. Right? Is more than 1, less than 4.
If I had to guess, with everything that's happening in the studio and things like that, and what I've heard, just like how things are, I probably 2. I think it'll probably launch with 2. My hope is 3, but I think we'll probably get 2.
Follow-up question: do we know, or do we think those maps will be forgeable?
I think they will. I think they will probably be made in Forge.
Yeah, so that's the other question.
Yeah, 100%.
They aren't going to be dev maps. I think they will be ones that were made in Forge.
Can you forge a map like Forest? By the way, I never actually checked that.
I mean, you can forge a lot of stuff. So
no, what I mean is like you can edit Forest and Forge, right? But you can't like mess with it.
Yeah.
It's dev made in that sense, though. But
yes, yeah, because it has the trees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you can add stuff around to it, but you won't be able.
You can't like take it apart.
Yeah. Now, what they might even do is that on some of the dev maps and stuff, is they might have a map that is like Forest, where they have it's set up for firefight, where it has like areas where the enemies spawn in, and it kind of has like they build up that one like structure and stuff a bit more with like maybe some forge items to make it a better defense area.
Yeah.
So
alter the map a little.
So if they go that route, then I think we'll see some more firefight maps. I think for brand new maps though, we'll probably see 2. If I had to,
that makes sense. I think there's a minimum of 2 maps per season, which makes sense. That's a decent amount. And yeah, I think if the Forge people, they're saying the Forge maps themselves, sorry, the Firefight maps themselves will be Forge maps, meaning they can completely forge them. But if they're dev maps, they'll be editable, but not like fully like dissolvable, whatever the word is.
Yeah, like there'll be like structures and stuff that you probably won't be able to move. But
it's like how you can forge like streets today, right?
Yeah, and I wonder, because they clarified if like forgers will be able to, forge on the dev made firefight maps. Then it depends on how they implement firefight. If firefight's made for you to add it to your own forge maps, then I think you'll be able to, because they might have like zones or something that you need to place down that the things will like spawn in at, and so if it's not like that and it's standardized the map, then they probably won't do it, because then like people can just, if you end up blocking an area where they're supposed to spawn, then the game doesn't work. So I'm pretty sure they'll be forgeable. It would be, I think, a mistake if they're not.
Yeah. Okay, that was, I guess, our question, which is nice. We don't usually or always get one these days.
That was a good question too. Thanks for asking.
It is, and very relevant. Man, season 5 is only like 40 days away. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
a little more than a month. So that is our episode. Scrolling across the screen is our Patreons, our supporters. We thank each and every one of you. For anyone watching, if you really like what we do, check out our Patreon, or honestly, even just comment, chat with us while we do these things. All that helps us keep doing them, because like the best way for us to keep doing things is to motivate us to do it. You know what I mean? And the best motivation is just back and forth discussion.
Money.
I've found. Money too. Money's money is the best. That's true. What was I gonna say?
If people though, you donate and stuff like that to the Patreon, one, it comes with some cool perks. But also, it helps give us the company and stuff like that money. For us to maybe eventually our next contest, we'll actually be able to have a decent prize pool and stuff.
You know what though? I'm just saying, for those watching, if you guys really want to see like Nick over at Worlds to help me make some Worlds content, then I'm just saying, if when you put some money in, just make sure to specifically mention, hey, this is specifically for this purpose, this reason.
I like that idea. Yeah.
Right. But anyways, okay. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you Arib and NuclearBlaze for coming and joining us again.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get you back on whenever we want to talk about Halo competitive scene.
Trying around Worlds
after
again.
Worlds.
So,
After, you know what? We'll be speaking to the FFA champion. All right. So maybe he'll be too busy. He'll be too busy for us. But but all right, guys. Thank you everyone for watching. And have a good day or evening. I guess have a good Starfield, more like.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. Right after this.
I gotta eat something and start playing.
He said it right now.
It has been paused. So.
Make sure you don't just rely on quick saves, huh? But you know this. Okay. Anyways, we got off the pot. See you guys. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
See ya.